And this is the new tyranny.
The big one, of course, because of the documentation and because of the really heroic effort that was put into it by the Hage family. Wayne Hage, rancher in Nevada, just up north of the Bundy family. They're friends of the Bundys. I had a large ranch, over 700,000 acres up there. Out in the arid West, you need large rangeland in order to run cattle. So he had his own fee simple land, and like many of these ranchers, then they have allotments. Many of these are actually deeded allotments. That is, they have purchased land, which is now called public land, or they have purchased the grazing rights on those lands, and these are actual property rights. And he was targeted by the National Park Service, by the U.S. Forest Service, and by the BLM. And what's so important here is that Wayne, who is a good friend of mine, and he married Helen Chenoweth, became Helen Chenoweth Hage, the congresswoman from Idaho, who was a stalwart champion for property rights and for all of the battles that we were fighting here in the West. They together took on the federal government, and over the course of many years fought a good fight in the courts, fought it in the public arena, and they kept their cool. And this is very important for the current case here. Wayne Hage had worked previously, before going back into ranching, he had worked for the Forest Service, and he knew some of the people there in the Forest Service and how they would try to provoke property owners into taking a stand, which they could then use, bring criminal charges against them. And so he knew when they sent armed thugs to take his cattle that they were violating the law. He knew they were trying to provoke him, and many of his cowhands wanted to respond with...
And by the way, I'm going to let you finish, but that's exactly what Judge Napolitano said on Fox, is that the feds could only put a lien on the property that he owns outright, and wait, they were not supposed to take his cattle, and what they did would have probably gotten an injunction on it.
Yes.
Go ahead, sorry.
What he did was, they came out there, they had all their guns out there, he went out there with a camera, started taking their pictures and saying, oh, smile guys, I'm recording all this, got it on camera just like you do, like we do at these events. And this is important because they want to goad you into action, which they can then use to prosecute you both in the courts and prosecute you in the court of public opinion.
But in fairness to the Bundys, they didn't have guns out, and then they would taser people with protest signs and beat them up, trying again to get people stirred up. But this time, they backed off when folks showed up the next time.
Yes, well, and here's the key thing. There were enough people, enough witnesses, and there were enough media, alternate media and the local media that showed up, television, radio, etc., that all of a sudden there were too many witnesses. They couldn't get away with this. So I believe they're backing off, but they're getting ready to come back again at the moment they choose, and not only against the Bundys. The Bundys are critical because, as we've said, he's the last man standing there. In Wayne Hage's case, the feds came in and actually rustled his cattle, took his cattle, but you know what? As his daughter, Ramona Hage Morrison, who is on the Nevada Agriculture Board and the Nevada Brand Commission, pointed out, look, even the feds cannot just take cattle, transport them to a cattle yard and sell them. By law, state law, all the cattle have to go through a brand inspection. Out on the range, you have different herds mixing, and we also have the problem of cattle rustlers. So
this is incredibly established law.
Right. So you have to go, and the feds have to abide by that law too. So they tried to find somebody who would who would sell them, none of the auction yards would sell them. They say, no, you don't have a bill of sale, you don't have a brand inspection, we aren't going to do it.
Well, that's what everybody's sick of. The feds don't follow any law. They're run by a bunch of NGOs and George Soros in their own documents saying we're taking over, we're going to bankrupt everybody. It's time they start getting prosecuted for a conspiracy.
Absolutely. So what they did, they sold his cattle illegally. It was a criminal act. If you or I or anyone else had done that, you'd go to prison for that. In the old days, you'd be hung for it. But the feds went ahead and violated the laws. They've done on so many of these other things here. And that's why Judge Jones's point, he's the senior judge for the federal court, District Court of Nevada, and his really blistering attack on the BLM, the Forest Service, National Park Service. He said it was a conspiracy. This was last year. He came out with his 100-page ruling. He said this is an ongoing multi-decade conspiracy against the Hages to deprive them of their property, to destroy...
See, I didn't even know that there was a ruling saying it's a conspiracy. But, I mean, this is a conspiracy.
Yes, and he used that term. He said this is a conspiracy.
It is. Stay there. We're going to come right back. Criminal conspiracy. I'm sick of it.
Uncover a simple privacy loophole that can stop the NSA spying thugs in their tracks at privacylockdown.com. The NSA has already shut down hundreds of sites, and to truth be told, they could shut down this operation at any time. See, the privacy loophole I'm about to show you allows you to make all your sensitive information disappear in the next 30 days or less. Go to privacylockdown.com now to take your life off the grid and see the loophole in the NSA and FBI spying machine before they close the loophole forever. Go to privacylockdown.com.
Clean water at home, clean water at the office, clean water on the go. The Berkey Guy has a Berkey water filtration model for anywhere you are and one that fits any budget. Thousands of satisfied customers can't be wrong. For free shipping within the U.S., go to goberkey.com or call 877-886-3653. That's 877-886-3653. Helping thousands prepare since 2005, goberkey.com.
It's been said, those who control the food control the people. Are you concerned about GMO foods making you sick and affecting your mind? Many people suffer from lack of energy, insomnia, loss of stamina, weight gain, and the inability to think clearly. Genetically modified crops, processed foods, and toxic chemicals can compromise your health and are silently destroying your digestive system, which accounts for 80% of your immune system. Take back control of your health with Pro EM1 Probiotic from Terraganics. Pro EM1 Probiotic helps protect your body against irritable bowel syndrome, constipation, Crohn's disease, celiac disease, diabetes, the common cold, and much more. And including a powerful probiotic like Pro EM1 as part of your daily routine puts you back in control and prevents you from becoming a mindless zombie manipulated by the pharmaceutical and GMO agendas. Call Terraganics at 866-369-3678 or visit Terraganics.com. Terraganix.com.
Silver has always been nature's very own antibiotic, and only one system allows you to generate an endless supply of natural silver solutions. Silverlungs.com. You'll find no wild claims or pseudoscience, just a lifetime of nano-sized pure silver solutions. The Silver Lungs generator allows you to make your own, so stop paying for silver solutions. The unique lung delivery system targets respiratory infections where other silver solutions simply cannot reach. See the Silver Lungs generator and lung delivery system at silverlungs.com. That's silverlungs.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
TheNewAmerican.com, incredible online magazine, but they also have the hard copy. You can buy them in bulk at cost, just like we sell InfoWars magazine at cost to get it out to people. And back before the internet, folks, these were the magazines going around, and everything in them was true. In fact, they were always so conservative that they would, hold back. Is the only charge I have against them is that, they're very stickler about getting stuff just right, not going overboard. But when the globalists are going overboard on you, it sounds overboard to say everything they're doing because tyranny is overboard. And where there is a spirit of liberty, there's freedom. I mean, that's really elementary. He's going to be with us 15 minutes the next hour. I want to get into larger political issues with him, get his take at the 8 after about what makes the New World Order tick and how things are going for them. But finishing up in this short segment, William F. Jasper, if you just joined us, I'm your host, Alex Jones, here on this Wednesday Worldwide Edition. You know, in this court ruling you were just reading from in Nevada about the same, you know, BLM groups, the Judge Jones called it a criminal conspiracy. I didn't know that. Then what do we do when we're faced with corrupt, armed zealots? A lot of these BLM people and others are environmental cultists. They don't care about real environmental crises. They care about being anti-human. Just in Big Bend last year, I tried to talk to BLM people twice. They were so rude. I began seeking them out and talking to them, and they would bow up. And not just to me, but to others. I mean, I'm not saying they're all like this, but what's wrong with these people?
Well, you know, we're going to see more and more of that because these agencies specifically recruit people like that. They want people who will be unthinking, Gestapo-type folks. And for all of you Forest Service BLM people who feel you don't fit that mold out there, and I know there are many. I know many of them myself. However, even those who are in the agencies will admit, I've known them all my lives. They'll say, yes, we have a lot of those types here in the agencies. And those are the ones that are increasingly being found throughout there. When you have a growing police state, you need people who are going to implement it. And people with conscience, people who really take the Constitution seriously are not going to fit in there. But what is so important is that Judge Jones, in the ruling I was talking about there, he said that the managers, the top people of the BLM, Forest Service, National Park Service, were engaged in fraud, in witness tampering, in a number of other things, mail fraud. These are all very serious, imprisonable offenses. And he went further and he said that he wanted these people removed from his jurisdiction. And he went further and said he wanted the Attorney General, the Justice Department, to initiate prosecution against them. Has the Justice Department, has Eric Holder initiated any kind of prosecution of these folks? No. Has Harry Reid called for any kind of prosecution of these folks? No. So it shows that when we have today the Bundys being framed as the criminals, and the way the major media is portraying it is that these Bundys are terrible scofflaws. They're welfare ranchers who refuse to pay their allotment fees, and that's the way the environmental lobby is playing, and that's the way Harry Reid is playing it, that those who came to support them are the scofflaws. Those that came to support them are a threat to American security. No, it is far worse when elected officials and appointed officials use the color of law and use the power of their office to...
yeah, it has a name. It's called tyranny. Stay there. Stay with us, folks. Third hour coming up. Infowars.com, TheNewAmerican.com. You're listening to this transmission. You are the resistance.
Genesis Communications Radio Network.
The globalists have controlled the mainstream media for a long time, but now they're expanding and making the weaponization even more vicious and deceptive. All the major networks are state-run.
We are partnering this year with the NFL.
The NFL has become a political weapon against the Second Amendment and pushes Obamacare. MSNBC tells us that our children belong to the state.
We have to break through our kind of private idea that kids belong to their parents or kids belong to their families and recognize that kids belong to whole communities.
It is more important than ever to realize realize that we are not the alternative media. We are the true media. The establishment dinosaur press is dying.
We are in an information war, and we are losing that war.
Join us at InfoWarsNews.com and PrisonPlanet.tv. Members can share their memberships with up to 11 people. By subscribing, you will literally be buying war bonds in the info war to expand our operation in the face of the tyrants. Join us at PrisonPlanet.tv.